Everybody, hola, my name is Jessie Feliz. I am from Detroit, Michigan.
Hi everyone, this is Michelle for Expat Life Mexico. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with the amazing Jessie Feliz.
Hola, hola, hola.
She's awesome. A little bit of our backstory. She and I met through Black Radio, and we became quick online friends, and it has led us to this amazing event that we're going to be doing together. I'm super excited. So with that being said, I am in Central Mexico in San Miguel de Allende. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you have subscribed and you love this video, smash the like button. And Jessie's here today to tell us about her amazing, amazing Spanish swag, cultural experience, her program, and also her website, which is JessieFelizTravel.com. She's going to explain to you, I'll let her kind of lead in what we're doing together, how we're hosting this together. We're going to be doing something really amazing at Casa ELM in the summer. And funny enough, this is kind of like something that I've wanted to do since I was in high school. I always was interested in having like a cultural exchange somewhere else outside of Connecticut. I wanted to travel to Europe, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't know anyone that looked like me that had done it. I always just looked in the little catalogs and I was like, oh, this is, out of my, I guess, my, not resources necessarily, but out of my range of knowledge. And it was just something that I always thought, well, you know what, I would have loved to have had this experience. And that's sort of how the conversation started. Was I wanted to reach out to Jessie to talk about her program and just kind of like see if she would be interested in doing something with us. So here it is, where we birthed it. So I'm gonna let you take over. Go ahead.
Gracias mil. Thanks so much, Michelle. So thank you. Gracias por darme la oportunidad de pasar un rato contigo y con tus amigos por el internet. Yes, everybody. Hola, my name is Jessie Feliz. I am from Detroit, Michigan. I know we got folks from Dallas and they say that's the D, but we know Detroit is the D, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly, Lord. Bless us all. But yes, I am the creator of Spanish Swag. Boop. Spanish Swag is more than an acronym that stands for Speak Like a Native, Woke, Consciously Be Aware of What You're Saying, A, Accents Matter, and G, Grammar Check. It really is a way to humanize the language learning experience through mindfulness. And so I am highly passionate about increasing the rate of el bilingüismo, of bilingualism in the Black American community, whether Black Americans still stateside, planning to travel or live abroad, or for the Black expat community. We should never want to like assimilate and lose our identity in the process of learning any language, right? At the same time, we not only, because we can't change how we're perceived, right? We're Black American people. We can't control how we're perceived. We can be a little bit more conscientious in the way that we are received, in the words, the cadence, the rhythm, the flow. Am I consciously walking around in an ignorant way saying "Mi lamo es Jessica, soy de Michigan," and then wondering why I'm being received the way that I am? Like having lived abroad in Costa Rica, I was an international exchange student in 2005, and then I lived for 2.5 more years there, from 2013 to 2016. I'm just very thankful for all the diverse experiences I've had, as well as being a Spanish language educator in Baltimore. The largest population of Latinos that I serve were from El Salvador, or de herencia salvadoreña, then working in Tejas and Texas, and then back here in Detroit. And so in the midst of it all, number one, living abroad, especially along the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica, you see all these melanated, beautiful people that speak Spanish, patois, English, a mixture combination of all of it. Yet, why is it like awkward for our people from Los Estados Unidos, African Americans? Why is it like not something that is supported or we're not being equipped with this, because 20% of Americans identify themselves as being bilingual, and that's primarily a result of heritage and not schooling. So we already see the advances with tecnología. We know we need culturally competent people and linguistically competent people as well. And the US Hispanic population's purchasing power, by the way, ranks 7th in the world. That's nearly equal to that of France. The whole country of France ranks equal as far as their purchasing power. So becoming bilingual is no longer an option. It really is una necesidad. And so similar to what you talked about, like when you were in high school, seeing the travel guides, you know, and it's like you did not see yourself in there reflected. Um, Zaretta Hammond, the author of Culture Responsive Teaching, she talks a lot about that your culture is your brain software. Right. So imagine we are now curating this amazing experience, while participants will still have the opportunity to gain real world speaking experience with a Spanish language educator who not only speaks the language, and with a Black American who is knocking on 5 años, 5 years living in Mexico. But we have that comfort because we have a shared cultural experience.
Right.
And so my biggest thing is like, let's not only empower but equip our people with bilingualism and with this woke lingualism in a way that is natural for us and organic and authentic. I never have said to anyone, I only teach Black people. I have never said that. However, it doesn't matter how many degrees that I have, however many years of experience, I know how I'm perceived
Right.
just because of my ethnicity, right? Nonetheless, cuando yo hablo español, I know how by a Spanish speaker I'm then thus received. And so that's what my focus and my hook and all of what I'm about. So I'm so excited that we're gonna be up at Casa ELM este Julio. Tap in, y'all. JessieFelizTravel.com.
Exacto. So I'm super excited. If you haven't joined her on Instagram, especially, she has like the best video reels ever. Like just everything about Feliz is Jessie.
Yes, I'm Jessie
So,
Feliz Plus online
yes,
because you always gonna get a little bit more than what you think with me. That's what
exactly.
let everybody know. Don't get too comfortable thinking, oh, do not box me somewhere. I can't be. I'm a Pisces. I have to be
Yes,
free. And
yes.
I've got to be free.
Yes, so she's a lot of fun. Her program's amazing. I love everything that it's about. I love that you focus on, you know, how we sound when we're trying to speak Spanish. It's not just kind of like clinical in the way of reading and still sounding very American or very whatever country you might come from, or to say from the United States or Canada or wherever. It's really trying to have more authenticity to the words and how you pronounce things. And that is a part of what makes this program, in my opinion, different, because it's not just, oh, okay, I'm going to teach you Spanish. I'm going to really teach you Spanish so you sound more authentic. And I think that that's key. And also it's super key, in my opinion. And I know you work with all ages, right? But you also work with children. And I think it's really important for us to expose our children to other languages. You know, I personally have exposed my child to Spanish because I live in Mexico. But even before moving to Mexico, I always thought about him having that at a young age, having that exposure at a young age, not just, okay, we're just going to stay in this one box. You know, it's really important that your children, if you have kids and you're watching this, are exposed to other things, because it just really opens so much more to their future. You know, I mean, my son's fluent in Spanish. I mean, I look at him and I'm like, okay, how do you say this correctly?
No, pero es así, en serio. And literally, there are doors that are only open with your bilingual or multilingual skill sets. You can have great work ethic. You can have the top GPA, top test scores. However, there will be an employer. And here's the thing, they want a North American English native tongue. They want that because you know, the cadence of a North American English is what it is, right? They want that. However, they know they also need someone who speaks fluently in whatever the second, third, fourth language may be. And
Absolutely.
so I'm not even saying, I think sometimes people, it's easier for us to think things so abstract, like from an abstract perspective. But I'm saying bring it down. If you want to work as Secretary of State, right? They're paying you $18 an hour, but if you're bilingual in a secretary DMV in an area where you have a population of Spanish speakers, you're getting paid 22 to 25 an hour. So I'm not saying, oh, if you want to have this a long college academic career, I'm saying just like even basic, like everyday
Yes.
jobs, stateside and abroad.
Absolutely.
And also I want to encourage, while we have a shared collective identity as Black Americans, based off of our phenotype, where we're from, all those things. I know we still are diverse within that. We don't want to forget that hyphen American that's there. And part of that programming, we've been sojourning this land for siglos, for many centuries now. Not by choice. I had to tell some kids in after school program today, this is not by choice. Nobody was like, hey, take me to America. No, nah, boo. That was no. Take me, please. No, that was not the case. But I also, I think we may have discussed this before or not. I know on one of the Black Sit large group conversations early on, we talked about what I've experienced as well with some, not all, I don't like to generalize, with some members of the expat community, where we still have that hyphen colonizer mindset. Similar to like there might be someone that moves to the US and they're in a community with people who share similar culture or language. And so there's no effort, because it's not needed you necessarily to learn English or to learn what they need, because they're getting their bills paid, they're living, family's good. But then I want us, if you know better, do better. Like, let's, whether you're expat or traveling, it's not assimilating and losing who you are, but it also is like talking about acostumbrarse, las orejas, getting those ears acclimated, and the wokeness is being mindful, not perfect, right? But being mindful of what I'm saying and how it's being received. Right.
I think that's very important. And I do think, based on my experiences here, I can say I'm guilty of not putting a larger effort in, but I have really improved in my Spanish in general from being around a lot of local people, having to communicate with a lot of local people. But there is a lot that's lost in the translation of the language. So even
but
if
having your son immersed, that's a major, like, reality is reality, right? Having your son immersed and now your son is bilingual, that is a decolonizing framework. Whereas I know people that live not just in the Spanish speaking world, that live across el mundo, and then their kids go to still American schools, which I'm not saying don't do that, right? They still go to America, but I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me you live for many years in this country and you have not given your child the gift of learning that language,
Exactly. No, that was one of my key things when I got here in the first school year. And I was just telling someone about this on the weekend. There's another family that recently moved here with their 2 children, and I'm like so happy for them. But I was sharing with them, like, the first school year was really like difficult because he didn't speak the language. So, whenever something would come up in the 3 schools, we finally, tried on 3 schools. My biggest thing was that he learned the language. I wasn't really worried about academics and math. I was like, it's first grade, like, who cares? It's not important. But it was important to me that he learns Spanish as much as he could, as he, as the year or years and months or years went on, because no matter what, he has to learn. If he understands Spanish and he speaks English, he can learn it in both languages. So for me, it was really important to focus more on that, as opposed to, what's 2 + 2? Not that that's not important, but I just knew that he needed to be able to function in a bilingual school and be able to understand academics and instructions in both languages. So I think it's very important that, even if you don't live in a Spanish speaking country or some other country, I mean, we're focused today on Spanish, but if you don't live there, you're still living in the United States, which is fine, or Canada, or wherever you are, that you give this to your child. It's so much
Yeah.
easier, trust me, for them
Yes.
to learn it at an
Yes.
younger
Yes.
age, because there are no rules. They don't have all these like rules in their head about
Yes.
grammar and structure of sentences. They're just going to speak Spanish, and trust me, it is so easy for them to pick it up. Just
Oh, yes.
put them in the environment. Trust, it works.
Yes.
It works.
Yes, with that, people, please visit SpanishSwag.com. I have a brand new on-demand learning program, the same energy that I bring to my live virtual, my live in-person classes here in Detroit. I have now captured that, compiled that in an amazingly fun, interactive, personable learning experience where you feel like you have your own personal teacher in a live class. But yeah, mama got a life, so it's pre-recorded, but it's still so much fun. That's with SpanishSwag.com, because it is amazing when I work with my chiquillos, like the younger kids,
Mhm.
compared to adults, right? Because like you said, so think about it, especially when this is like the early on introduction of this
Mhm.
language, when
Mhm.
it's done well and in a culturally responsive way, the kids just I'm amazed by the kids. We're reading a book right now called Un Castillo de Libros, a castle of books. And it
Mhm.
was written by a beautiful author, Susana Aricistalba, who's Colombian. And I found this book a free download through like the Ministry of Education in Colombia. And I was like, oh great, we can read this authentic Colombian written text. I
Mhm.
found the author on LinkedIn, and she's actually going to come join my Zoom class in March
Ooh,
because that's National Literacy and Reading Month. But
love
I
it.
sent her excerpts. She was like, I want to, and this is all speaking in Spanish, me and her back and forth. Can you send me excerpts of your students? And she was like, oh my gosh, they speak so well and they're not like Latino. And I'm like, no, they are Black American
Right.
from the United States. Like, but having them be mindful, it's not about perfection, right?
Right.
But practice yields permanence. And so even
Exactly.
on this trip, you have to take risks, right? But such a beautiful itinerary that we have planned.
Yes.
I keep telling you, I cannot wait till we go to La Gruta. I'm telling you
Yes.
now, I gotta make sure I get my camera, my selfie stick with
Hot
the water
springs.
protection. Right,
Hot
the hot
springs.
springs,
Yeah, it's gonna be
hot
amazing.
springs, as well as us having not just a toured experiences
Mhm.
in La Plaza in the downtown area, but I'm excited to travel to La Tiengues, the market, people to
Mhm.
practice. And so the start of each day, whatever is on our itinerary, we're gonna learn survival functional Spanish right then. And also leading up to our trip, everyone at least 1 month beforehand will receive like a on-demand, let's practice some key phrases that you need to utilize en el país de Mexico.
Right.
So I'm super duper excited to
Me
experience
too.
Casa ELM on
Yes,
this
I'm
trip.
excited. I'm excited to have you there. And also, I'm excited about this whole cultural program. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be happening here, July the 8th through the 15th, and also in Costa Rica on
Yes.
August 21 through 28th. You can find more information about it at jessiefeliztravel.com. That there you can, discover exactly what all of the details are and everything that's associated with it. It's such a beautiful just experience that we were able to put together. I'm really excited to do this with you. And I do think that people will not only leave or have just the San Miguel, which is already special, but the being able to use the language consciously, practicing, being put in places which we have as a part of our itinerary to really practice and use it. Like you
Yes.
said, the Tuesday market, going out to the campo to do tortillas
Oh,
and
I'm
things
very
like that. It's
excited in
going to
that.
be super, super beautiful. So I'm really, really happy and excited. So one more thing, tell us a little bit about the app itself or your program, just a little bit more like how do people get to it?
Yeah. So the initial launch is geared towards elementary students. And again, you go to SpanishSwag.com. Right now it's a web-based app, so you log in through my website, which is still accessible por teléfono, but it's not yet in the App Store.
Okay.
So you sign up per course. It's only $19 per course. There's interactive, not just games and lessons, but also I love one of the features we use where the tech integration is you ask me a question and you get to practice speaking back and forth with me. It's really amazing, like the technology that we have, all the integrations that we can put there. And the fact that it's on demand is like really studying Spanish in your own place at your own pace.
Okay.
We have a lot of students that have different varying ability levels, processing levels, but I've also found so many of the parents are also learning alongside their child because they're practicing, especially for the little chiquillos. One of my strongest students, she began using my Spanish swag programming when she was 3.5. And it was like, yikes, how can we do this? But mamá estuvo todo tiempo, siempre estaba a su lado, like right by her side. And so mom is reinforced what mom already knew, but sprinkling that swag, as my kids like to say, she's a really strong learner. And even her younger sister now is following in her footsteps,
Love it.
and you can hear the pronunciation. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're like developing like bilingual children. And with that group, I literally meet only once a week for live instruction, but they get to practice throughout the week with the Spanish swag app. I'm
Okay.
not taking any more live participants for the rest of this school year. Follow me, Jessie Feliz Plus on Instagram, and I'll release the information for the new school year because
Okay.
I have like amazing staff that join me for the weekly live class. But I'm just so thankful because I didn't learn Spanish for real until 10th grade.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was like 9th grade, my teacher, God bless her, I don't even know where she is. She had no classroom management. So we were all just turning up. And I didn't even value it until I was in 10th grade with my teacher from Nicaragua. And I loved how she would switch back from English to Spanish. And she spoke so well. And I was just enamored
Yeah.
by her. And I was like, I want to be like that one day
Oh, and now you are.
in
Now
my
you
own
are.
unique way. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, I love it. I mean, when we first started talking and you were kind of back and forth, I was like, what is her background? And I just, for some reason, I was like, oh, maybe she's from Costa Rica. I don't know. But through this journey of getting to know you better and what you're about, and I just love how we started, or you started at a certain point and you always promoted Spanish swag. And here you are, there's an app, there are experiences that are coming and that are
Yes.
associated with it. And it's just growing. And it's such a great concept and idea. I've been able to meet other people through you as well. So it's been really, really a beautiful thing in general. I'm really excited about the summer because, I'm telling you, like, this is, when I wanted to do this multicultural experience, I was in like the late 80s. So it's like way back,
But
Um,
sometimes there's like seasons, things are planted. They ask ideas, thoughts, sentiments, and it's
yes,
not for esa estación or
right,
temporada, but that
right,
doesn't mean that it's like not going to come into fruition.
right,
It's just not always how we may plan when and how we want what we want.
exactly.
Pero I cannot express just how it like the euphoria that I'm experiencing in advance
Mhm.
because you see, I have la bandera costarricense. That's a Costa Rican flag. And again, y'all, I do not front. No soy Latina. Yo soy negrita afroamericanita. All right, Detroit, born and raised by way of the Great Black Migration and the African diaspora. Okay, that's who I am. Pero my 3 years living abroad, ding ding ding, has been Costa Rica. And then every
Yeah.
time before the pandemic, I would lead tours to Costa Rica twice a year.
Mhm.
Or just take my daughter. She was born there, had an at-home birth. That's crazy. That's a
Wow.
whole nother conversation. I was much younger then. I don't know how I did. My son, a hospital, like take me right there, but whatever you got to do, I can't do that. Pero I'm so excited to travel to Mexico.
Yes.
While here in the US, I've been a bilingual parent liaison, and I've worked with so many different dialects Alex. I have not been in another Spanish. Well, I've been in Panama, pero it was like when we would do our border run, so it wasn't.
Okay.
And I was like pregnant, so I was like, let me just get some food and sit down. It was not the same. Pero I'm so excited para experienciar Mexico, especially San Miguel de Allende, because I love following all the amazing work you are doing in La Comunidad. And so, yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Yes, yay. Well, I'm looking forward to it as well. So if any of you are interested in her program, please go to her website. Tell us again.
Yes. JessieFelizTravel.com.
Exactly.
And if you want to enroll your kids in on-demand Spanish language learning program, SpanishSwag.com.
So there you have it. I'm really looking forward to this. You'll see more about this on both of our pages and places, and any questions you might have, you can go directly to her. She's going to answer everything. We are just happy to host you and your group, and anything else that we can help you with. We're here. I am personally super excited about this because, again, this is something that I always wanted to do, and I'm so happy to be able to open that page to other people, that hopefully we get some young faces as well. But the point is we're becoming more globalized, and having this, having opportunities to not just see it on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram or pictures or reels and all these shorts and TikToks, but to actually get on a plane and go somewhere and experience that. And for me to be able to house and hold space for that, I feel so grateful for it. So I'm looking forward to it as well. July 8th through 15th of this year, 2023. It's happening. Yeah. So thank you.
In San Miguel de Allende. I cannot wait. I'm already like looking like, oh, I want to go here.
Yes. Yes, it'll be a lot of fun. So if you need info, that's where you go to get it. Thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you for sharing this time with us. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you know where to go. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to know what else is coming from Expat Life Mexico. And I'm Michelle in Central Mexico, San Miguel de Allende. Thank you so much, Jessie. I can't wait to see you. I'm going to give you a long distance hug.
I know. I'm trying to take some of that vitamin D because it's sure enough it's cold up here in the D, but it's all good. I
know. Well, it's kind of chilly here, but it won't be chilly in July.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
It'll be nice and hot by then, nice and comfy. Anyway, all right. Thank you all. Ciao.
Ciao.